Okay, so elaborating a little bit more on why mental health is stigmatized. First, we'll talk about what stigma and what mental health stigma means. According to the American Psychological Association, which is APA, stigma happens when people are negatively viewed for having a specific characteristic, whether that's mental, physical. Mental health stigma refers to the stigma attached to mental health conditions and the discrimination that can happen to people who are living with them. Now, why is mental health stigmatized?
The reason why mental health is often stigmatized is because of a lack of understanding about what mental health conditions are and what it's like to live with a mental health condition. Stigma can also arise from personal thoughts or religious belief about people who have mental health conditions. Um, Generally, the lack of understanding about mental health, as well as harmful assumptions about people living with mental health conditions, is at heart bias. This can result in like avoidance, rejection, and other discrimination against people who are neurodivergent or have a mental condition.
So, how can we change it?
Well, to change it, you have to learn learn about mental health. That's the first step. One of the most important steps towards reducing mental health stigma is to learn more about it. Learning what mental health conditions look like and who they can affect can help reduce some of the fear and misunderstanding and also judgment around them. You also have to use your words carefully. When you use your words with negative associations like insane or crazy, we contribute to the judgment and stigmatization of others. It may take some effort to change the way we speak, but it can reduce the stigma that people with mental health conditions face. The third step will be to take part in campaigns. There's many mental health organizations like MAMI that creates fundraising campaigns to help bring awareness and provide funding for mental health care. And lastly, is to share your story. If you're with someone living with you that has mental health condition, one of the most powerful tools for reducing stigma is to share your story. By educating people on what it's like to live with a mental health condition, we can help reduce the misunderstanding and judgment that people feel.
That last one, the share your story, that's very important because um, I have a I have a lot of people actually. When you talk to people, everything might seem fine from the outside, but really, when you dive deep into them and then you start asking them questions and stuff, a lot of people that I know, uh, they are in therapy for one thing or another. One of my friends suffers from anxiety. I have another friend that suffers from trauma, and they go to therapy every week. And it's something that I would have never known if they weren't open with me and they're like, hey, I go to therapy. So, this could be actually your next door neighbor, be a close friend of yours, or not close. I mean, anybody
Well,
really.
since you're talking about that, I do have this friend that she was diagnosed with ADHD and anxiety and depression.
Mhm.
Well, we were talking about it, and she shared her symptoms of, what classified her under those mental health conditions, and it was her, me, and one more friend and two more other guys that were together. We all were Hispanic,
Mhm.
Latinos, and she described a lot of the things that she feels that categorized her with that, and I could relate with a lot of that. And then the other guy that I was with, my friend, he's like, "Yeah, me too. I feel a lot of those stuff too." The third guy, he was like, "No, not me." But what I'm trying to get at is, growing up, I wasn't used to being told like, "Hey, if you don't feel fine, you gotta go talk to somebody. You gotta see someone." So I've never gone to been diagnosed for anything. So, but based on that, it shows me that maybe something is wrong with me. Something's wrong with my friend as well, and we don't even realize it. So mental health is a lot more common than people think. You know, if this person have never told me what they feel and what they got diagnosed with, I would have no idea. And nevertheless, I would have not had. Well, now that I have like that little, like, she planted that little seed of doubt that, hey, maybe something is wrong with me. You know, maybe I do go through stuff and I don't know, and I don't know because I've never seeked out for it. So,
You know, you speaking on this as well. You know, I shared with you, sometimes I have my days where I don't feel okay. Sometimes I feel helpless, like I'm not worthy. Just a lot of stuff just goes. And you know, I reach out because I just want to talk. Sometimes I just want somebody to be like, hey, everything's gonna be fine. And you know, when I text you things like that, I'm crying. Like I'm like, man, I don't feel good. Like I just need you to be there. Like I just need somebody to understand. And I go to you because since you went to school, you graduated, you have your bachelor's, like I know that you're able to understand. And I feel like if I go towards my mom or somebody else, they're like, oh, what's wrong with you? You know, like that's not right. Like let's go to church. And that's it. You know, like they're just shut me out. So yeah.
and I mean that goes back to, you know, their lack of knowledge. You know, unfortunately, you know, people don't see mental disorder as a disease, as a illness. They see something as, oh, you're just crazy, it's just in your head. Versus, you know, when you have the flu, when you have the cold, since it's physical, people are more than willing to help you treat it. But yet, when it's something in your head that nobody can see, everybody just tries to label you as crazy or as you'll be okay.
Yeah, you're right. You know, I was very. This was an assignment that I really didn't want to do, and I'm really happy that I did. You know, you and I don't sit like this much, and are open, and it's really nice to see this side of you. You know, I have never, and I'm still going back to the first. You know, I'm still in shock of what you said about you trying to commit suicide, and I'm very sad about it. Like I could not imagine my life without you, and I'm really heartbroken. Like I love you like there's nobody else.
I love you too.
And I can't believe it. Like, you know, we talk about this and I'm doing this assignment and stuff, and you know, yes, we talk about it. I just didn't know it was so close to home. You know, I'm like really, I'm so sad.
You know, this is, I mean, you know, not only has it been an eye opener from other people's perspectives, you know, other Latinos just like us.
Yes, like,
but you know,
please
it's more.
Talk to them. Like talk to your brothers. Talk to your cousins. Like, don't be like this. Like I had no idea. I had no idea that this was going on, and it was so close to home, and it hits home. So like I'm just in shock. I don't even know what to say.
You know, we're just I guess a product of our raising. You know, we have more awareness of this kind of stuff, so you know, we're able to apply this with our kids. You know, unfortunately, our parents were not able to do that, but we have awareness. We can make the change. We can talk to our children. We can talk to other people. So, you know,
how do you think that, you know, you're about to be a first-time dad, like, you know, and I wanted to ask you, I know that our growing up wasn't ideal or wasn't perfect, and I wanted to ask you, like, what would you do different to your own child for this not to, I guess, happen? Would you be more open with them, like have an open dialogue, or do you think that the way that mom raised us will impact you raising your child? Like, you know, you have to remember that we couldn't have an opinion about anything. Like, ever since we were little. My mom says it's green and we saw it red. No, it's green. What my mom said went. We had no opinions, no anything about anything. And, you know, she raises in a very strict household. So, do you think that, like, how do you think you can change, you know, because it starts with us. How do you think we can change this? How can we make it better for our next generation? Like, for them not to feel like this, for them to feel like open. Like, how do we go about this, I guess?
You know, I always, let's see, how do I put this? So you're right, you know, that kind of parenting style was an authoritarian parenting style that my mom had. And yeah, it was either her way or the highway. And that also suppressed my need to be able to want to talk to her about my problems, because I felt like I was doing something wrong, you know, that I was going to get in trouble for it, that I was going to get hit, you know, or whatever or whatnot. So something I feel that I would do different with my children is be more open, you know, talk to them. I mean, it's just with my mom, she did a great job financial wise, meaning like materialistic wise. You know, I always had food on the table, always had a roof over my head, always had clothing, but she missed the part on the emotional side.
You know,
I mean, she did show love. She did.
And you're right. You know, one of the things that I, as an adult now, when my mom tells me like, "Hey, come here," like, and she hugs me and she's like, "I love you so much," I feel so strange, because she never did that when we were little. I don't even know how to react. I just be like, yeah, like, I love you too, you know. But you know that loving, like, you know, when you have like, or when you see like a loving person or in TV and you're, you know, like that gushes out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't with mom. We love our mom, and that's not we're not denying that. It's just that affection side of it wasn't there, and it's not there. You know, when she tries to be affectionate, it's so strange. Like, when she's like, "I love you," I'm like, "Yeah, I love you too, mom." Like, you know, it's been forever since you said that, and I know you love me because of things that you do, but she's not very emotionally with us.
Yeah, so yeah, that's something that, you know, we can apply towards our children. You know, be more open and be understanding, and, you know, talk about how they're feeling, talk about how school went. You know, did something go wrong in school? Is something bothering you? Stuff like that, you know, because I went through bullying in school, and, you know, there's times you'll get to me, but, you know, I was able to pull through. But not everybody's able to do that. You know, a lot of us would just shut down and start believing what people are saying. And if you have nobody to talk to, like your parents, then what do? You just internalize it, and you start maybe believing what they're saying, or you start creating insecurities. Your self-esteem starts going down, and then your mental health starts decreasing and starts getting worse and worse.
Start deteriorating. Yeah. You know, one of the things is when teens go to school, the majority of the time that they're spent is at school. You know, that is basically their life. Their life is school. And it does, you know, to them, it does matter what other people have to say about them. And like you said, and I agree with you, if they don't have that support system, that village to back them up, yes, they will start believing, you know, and that can cause them to harm themselves, you know, to think that what people are saying, there's no way that they're able to live in this world anymore. Like, they're useless to this world. Nobody's gonna miss them, and which is not true. And again, you know, yeah, I agree with you again. It's so important for us to be open, you know, and really cut that curse, that stigma, that curse, that Latin way of thinking, that Latino way of thinking, that, hey, it's my way or the highway. you have no opinion, you have no feelings, like all that, and build a better future for them, you know, so they can be a better for the next generation.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so, you know, we also have to talk about, you know, the barriers to mental health care. You know, some of it being no access to insurance, you know, some of it being scared of, of deportation if you get any type of care. So, yeah, so there's
Also,
not
language.
language for sure. You know, that's a big one,
Yep.
especially because
Well, you know, about 75% of therapists are white. So that's a huge problem when you have a non-English speaking family or anybody trying to seek it, because if they don't have that language there, if they have that language barrier there, they're unable to access this, even if they do have the funds, even if they do have insurance. Even if they go with somebody that doesn't speak Spanish, they're unable to help them. You know, it's useless. So I think that is a very, very huge one.
for sure, you know, one of another barriers that I think it is well, you know, the lack of health insurance. You know, Latinos are less likely to receive treatment for depression, anxiety, and other behavioral issues than their white counterparts. From 2017 to 2019, there was a study done that the rate perceived for need of mental health services increased by 63% among Hispanic people. You know, that's a big increase, and you know, the increase of mental health providers is like, what was it, like 5.5% each year. So it's not really a whole lot, you know. More Hispanic people are needing help than what's able to be provided. So, you know, legal status is also another one. You know, undocumented people are usually related to Latinos or Hispanics because it is a real phenomenon that generates in this population fear of being deported or seeking support with entities as they do not have legal papers for themselves and their families. And you know how we also talked about how, you know, parents say to suck up your feelings, suck up whatever you need to suck up. That's the type of home remedy, you know. And a lot of Hispanics believe in natural medicines, home remedies, and you know, sometimes not everything is solved like that. You know, such as mental health, it is necessary to like seek professional help to help you cure these problems.
Yes, you're right. You are right. I do want to conclude this, and I want to. We all can help. You know, we all can help make a difference by being more mindful about how we speak to others, learning more about what it's like to live with a mental health condition, and sharing our stories. When we're living these conditions, we can help reduce the stigma surrounding mental health. This was a great opportunity to really open up to each other, and I had an amazing time, honestly. It was good. Like it feels good to have this conversation with you, to converse, and how do you feel? Do you feel okay? Like, do you feel good? Like having to, you know, lift that weight off of you when you shared your story?
I have learned to live the way I feel. I don't know if it makes sense. It's just, for me, how I feel is normal. I'm not sure if I feel any different than somebody that's considered normal. Like I said, I've never been to a psychiatrist to tell me that there's something wrong with me. So, yeah, I don't know. I always thought I was a normal person, but it's just as as I got more educated in these symptoms, you know, it makes me second doubt myself. So this assignment has or this podcast, you know, has helped me realize that we all need help one way or another. You know, we all have something going on in our heads, and it's okay to seek help. You know, it's okay to talk about your emotions. It's okay to talk about how you feel. It's okay to talk about what you're thinking of doing. But yeah, well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. It was a great experience. You know, it made me relive and rethink of moments, and you know, I can use that as a learning experience, a learning thing to be able to, I don't know, what I'm trying to say is I don't really talk about my personal stuff, and you know, you asking me and me telling you has, you know, maybe open a door to me being more open about how I feel. So, you know, it was a great assignment, and
Yeah.
it was good.
But yeah, thank you for opening that door, and thank you guys so much for everything.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.